at this time, but still run.
Hi, I'm Martin from AMS Performance, and we're here at Texas 2K. We brought a lot of cars. We brought Jordan Martin's 76mm car, Dave Rorscheider's 68mm car and GT3, Horan Chicago Motor Car cars, and GT4. Yeah, we just got a bunch of cars here, and in typical fashion, it's never a relaxing event. You know, all this horsepower. You're talking, you know, 2,000 wheel horsepower plus on most of these cars, and it's abusive on anything, the drivetrain, the engine, the entire car. So we're always, you know, maintaining, fixing, something breaks, you know, keeping things running. But in the end, we have a great team. We're working on the car. If something does go down, we're on top of it, getting it fixed, getting cars back in action. So I'm looking forward to the race. Hope we qualify well and do well. All right, so one of the cars we brought down, Dave Rorscheider's car. It's a 68mm car, GT3, and that car is actually pretty awesome. It went 706 at 204 miles an hour, I believe, at the last event it was at. And so, again, that's not a huge turbo, 68mm. The car has to weigh 3,600 pounds with the driver, so it's not a really light car. But we did a lot of work on the car. A lot of the parts, you know, as far as spec'd out, the engine we built for it, everything else, is kind of take advantage of that turbo size and really get the most power out of it. So the goal for that car is really to go 6s at this event. It's asking a lot out of those turbos because they're not that big. But, you know, I think we're ready, the car's ready, and I know the track's great, so hopefully the weather cooperates and we go fast with the car.
Hi, my name's Jordan Martin. We're here at Texas 2K in the AMS pits, and here we have the Prime Cuts Chop Shop GTR. It'll be competing in GTR Class 4, hoping to win this year. Never won Texas 2K. The fastest this car's ever gone is 706 at 206. We've made some changes. It's running an AMS motor, AMS turbo kit, Shep trans with Dodson gears. Hoping to improve on it this year. Maybe get a 6 out of it. This GTR here, it's a 76mm car. It's built and tuned and supported by AMS. It's got their billet long block with their billet heads. It's got their triple injector manifold. It's got a mechanical fuel pump from T1 Racing. It's got the best of the best Shep trans, billet front housing, Dodson gears. It's got the wave track differentials in it. We recently just switched back to a small tire to see what we could do. We've dropped some weight too. We now have carbon doors and Lexan. When it ran the 706, it was actually quite a bit heavier. It still had power windows and everything, so it's a bit more race car this year. It's got a Vulcan race fab, NHRA certified, 25.3 cage in it. Runs on methanol. Not quite sure what this car makes. It routinely makes over 2,200 wheel horsepower on the dyno. The wheel spin becomes an issue. This year it's running an Alpha 22X kit, which is the same as the year before, with the exception of a larger hot side. So now it makes the same power with a bunch less boost, so I wouldn't be surprised if it makes somewhere between maybe 24, 2,500. You only really know on the track, and it's all traction dependent. So we'll see what she does. We hope to maybe crack into the 6s. It'd be awfully nice. Brought the Prime Cuts Lamborghini Performante to kind of play around with here. It might make some hits in the exhibition class. It's really mostly a street car. It's got a factory trans, factory motor, and an AMS turbo kit. We're going to see what we can get out of it. Maybe have a little fun away from the track with it. The Performante in Illinois has gone as fast as 927 at 151 on stock ECUs, Michelin Pilot Sport tires, factory motor. factory trans. The only real change to it so far has been it's switched to Motec. So we'll see maybe if we can get a little bit better time out of it here during the exhibition passes. Check out Prime Cuts Chop Shop for all your quality used parts needs.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Obviously, you know, with the virus and everything, no spectators allowed. It was kind of a bummer, and you know, we're all questioning, hey, what's going to happen? Are we even going to race? And thankfully did. You know, we had a rough start also with one of our cars. We heard an engine and testing, really just with the power turned down and something, I don't know, silly happened. The guys back in the shop built a motor that night, drove it all night back from Chicago to Texas. The guys put it in, and one of the first qualifying passes we heard a trans. So that was unfortunate, but that's what racing, you know, that happens. But other rest of the cars did awesome. Jordan Martin in his GTR 4 class, he won the whole event. He qualified #1, or was class, went 7:15, I believe. We didn't turn it all the way up. The strategy was to win the event, but you know, again, super proud of him. Jordan Martin's Performante Huracan, that's our bolt-on turbo kit, stock engine, stock transmission, and that thing's been consistent 9.3s, 9.2s at 150, 155 miles an hour, and that's running stock Michelin Pilot Sport street tires, so that's super impressive. That's a great platform. I can't wait to get into it more. So I really have to thank the crew. You know, I couldn't ask anything more out of them, and I'm super appreciative of what the crew does, from the tuners, the technicians, the guys who organize the event. There's a lot goes into it, you know, making sure the cars get here, everything is set up, the cars are running right. It's a lot to ask, and my crew does a fantastic job, so I'm very proud to have them, you know, as part of AMS, and it's amazing. So again, it's a wrap. You know, it was a rough start, turned out awesome, so I'm super happy.